RTS games, am I right? Well, the only thing I'm really right about is that their days seem to be over. The popularity of the real-time strategy genre had such an impact on the history of gaming. But the way things are now, you can't blame for their demise. Even though there's that one game you're probably still playing from your childhood, new releases aren't really celebrated as much. Command & Conquer got brutally killed by EA, and Blizzard, well, they became scummy. But despite that, it's impossible for gamers to say anything bad about creative, yes, we need Alien Isolation 2, Assembly's Total War series. And while their legacy has been well documented in YouTube videos, the history of the history hasn't. Until now. Well, at least I'm going to try. So let's look at the lore of the lore. It's vast and long, and the Warhammer timeline doesn't count. So let's get to it. We begin as early as the 13th century BC, with one of the first wars that changed human history, the Trojan War in Total War Saga Troy, blending what we know with what we made up. 432 BC had the setting for the Wrath of Sparta, DLC for Rome 2. By the way, Rome 2 had a lot of DLC. 399 BC gave us the rise of the Republic. 336 BC, we had Alexander's conquest of the Persian Empire. 300 BC gave us the game no one really remembers or wants to, I don't know, Spartan Total Warrior, when the Romans conquered Greece. We get the main Rome Total War game in 275 BC. In 218 BC, we get Hannibal at the gates. 58 BC, Caesar in Gaul. Then his true successor in 42 BC, Augustus, with Imperator Augustus. 182 AD, we move to China for Mandates of Heaven, with Total War Three Kingdoms. Eventually, in 190 AD, we get the main game of Three Kingdoms. Then in 194 AD, we get A World Betrayed. With 200 AD, Fates Divided. Then we go back to Rome with Empire Divided in 270 AD, set when Rome started its downfall. In 290 AD, we get 8 Princes Chapter Pack for Three Kingdoms. 363 AD, we get the final days of the once glorious Rome, along with a barbarian invasion. In 395 AD, a new challenger approaches, Attila. Then in 533 AD, we get the last Roman campaign pack. 768 AD, Age of Charlemagne. 793 AD starts the medieval era with Viking invasion. 878 AD, Thrones of Britannia. Yeah, I don't even know what that is. Then we get Medieval 2 Total War in 1080 AD. Then with the first game in 1087 AD. Then in 1174 AD we get to look at its kingdoms. Finally in 1175 AD we get one of everyone's favorite games, Shogun 2 with the Rise of the Samurai, giving us a look at the Genpei War. 1205 AD hits off with the Crusades. 1274 AD we get the Mongol invasion, which is the first ever Total War DLC. In 1467 AD we get the Sungyo Gushite, known as the first Shogun game. 1521 AD has us play in America with Kingdoms. 1545 gives us the main campaign from Shogun 2, reminding us why samurai are such badasses. The Road of Independence begins with Empire Total War in 1607 AD with the founding of the colony of Jamestown, with 1700 AD giving us the likes of the French-Indian War and the American Revolutionary War, including in 1782 the Warpath campaign. Then 1796 AD kicked off the Italian campaign of Napoleon Total War. The general comes to power in 1804 AD, eventually will give us the Peninsula Campaign DLC set in 1811 AD. Then with his final defeat in 1815 AD at Waterloo, we eventually end the vast epic timeline with Fall of the Samurai in 1864 AD, with the Meiji Restoration period. You can't help but respect the attention to detail and the refusal, even after being bought by Sega, to rewrite. Wait a minute.